Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be setting up a bullet journal for month of July. I've been gone for 4 months now since February, and this is how my bullet journal looks right now. It is empty because I didn't really use the bullet journal that much. Because my new job, I use a online calendar and planning tools, and so it is hard to come back here and do planning again on the bullet journal. But this month I'm going back to school, so I feel like bullet journal can be useful again. So yeah, let's get started. For the month setup, I would try to do my best to keep it simple, but because I went to art supply store and I bought a few more colors of the Tombow Duo brush pen, so this month I'll be using 4 different colors for the bullet journal setup. For the header, I used this Sakura Micron fine liner, and the craft paper here I got it from my 𝕤𝕤 notebook. I cut it out until it's almost empty now, so it is time to restocking. I try to keep it simple by using this font, and I use a thin fine liner to make it look less clutter. And I'll be drawing a mini calendar on the bottom because for this month's calendar spread, I'm just gonna be doing a vertical spread without a calendar, so that's why I'll be using this as a reference. And the reason why I'm doing it this way this month, because if you are starting the week on Monday, you know my frustration that you have to deal with 1 or 2 days at the end and beginning of the month. So to avoid that hassle, I just use this vertical spread to plan for the calendar. And as for the decorations, I got this leaves and flowers design from Pinterest, but I think it's originally from 𝕤𝕤 website. I like these designs because they are very easy to draw and they are colorful, so I don't have to repeatedly tell you guys what I'm doing because I will be using the same design for the whole monthly spread. And if you have a question of like how to stick to bullet journaling habit or how to come back after taking a break, this is the best way to do. Keep it simple and don't put too much effort in designing. Just make it good enough to be for you to be able to use and make it useful. And once you keep coming back to plan, it will come back into natural habit. And once you plan your days or your month really well, then you have time to do designs and do hobbies. So yeah, that would be my advice from someone who was gone for 4 months. And as I mentioned earlier on this calendar spread this month, I'll be doing the vertical layout. That's because I don't want to deal with the hassle of making calendar boxes for the 6 weeks month. And also it's kind of look to me like a to-do list. So this way I feel somewhat more productive when I write down the tasks and to-do list, just because it is on the vertical in one page. You can see at a glance how many things you have to do and how busy you are, and so I feel like this is kind of more motivating for me. So while we are setting up our calendar spread, I'm just gonna give you guys some life update. So for the past few months, I've been busy with my new job, just trying to get a hang of it and trying to get good at it. So that's why I've been not available and not going online that much. And also this summer, starting like a couple weeks ago, I am going to college, and this is exciting because I'm going back to school for the first time in over 10 years. So I'm excited to start a new chapter in my life, and that's why I want to get back to bullet journaling again, just to get my life back on track. Let's move on to the next spread, which is a habit tracker. To be honest with you guys, I don't really use habit tracker that much. I usually stick with using habit tracker for a few weeks, and then I would drop out or not coming back to use them because I feel like it's a hassle to track down things and jot down on my bullet journal every day. A lot of time I find it more easier to use app to track on the habit, but I just feel like myself not really tracking on these things at all. I just write out in my diary and be like, hey, today I went to exercise or today I cleaned the house, but I don't really keep track on or want to make them into a daily routine. But for this month, I want to give it another chance, and if I don't use it altogether, I would probably just not using or making habit tracker anymore. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And for the habit tracker itself, I just cut out this mini calendar on the craft paper and stick on without writing any day numbers or anything, just to make it easy and fast to make. And also, if I were just to draw a box or to use stamp directly on the planner, I would 100% mess it up. So that's why I decided to do it this way. And for the next spread, I will be doing a highlights. The reason why I call them highlights is because I read a book called Make Time, which was recommended on YouTube, and I wanted to learn more about like how to manage and organize the time. And I liked the book because the authors, they didn't want to make time to be more productive, but instead they're making time to actually be more intention and do things that they wanted to do but they couldn't find time to do, like hobbies or projects. So because of that Make Time book, I was able to finish painting my kitchen cabinet, and I was so proud of myself and my husband for finally getting to get them done, because I bought the paint and equipments like over a year ago, but we just couldn't get to do it. So that's why I think this highlight spread would be more helpful, and it can also double as my goal setup as well. And finally, we are at a weekly spread. For this month, there was only a few spreads that I make, but originally the video was really long. That was because I was rambling a lot about my life story and things I've been doing during my break and whatnot. But I decided to cut them down so that the video doesn't take like 30 minutes long. But yeah, thank you so much everyone for waiting for my video and watching until the last part of this section here. So for this weekly spread, I would do enough. So for this weekly spread, I decided to do in the vertical calendar, and that's because it helps me put the planner down more easily, and I don't need to write the whole lot, because like I mentioned earlier, I also use another journal for my diary, and so I don't need to write a lot of things on my bullet journal here. And also, like, I feel like when I set up this way, it helps me have a nice look at the whole picture of the week, and I have more room to write my goals and the next week's things to do as well. And like I mentioned earlier in this video, that during my break, I has been doing some digital planning, and I even got this new e-ink tablet. The brand I got is Supernote. So yeah, once I get a hang of it, I would like to share more about the product and the digital planning with you guys, but for now I'm still learning, so it might take me a few months to get used to it, and I'll give you guys an update. But if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss my future videos if I decided to come back to YouTube full time. And finally, our weekly spread is done. I actually really like how it turned out, not just for the weekly spread and for the whole bullet journal for this month, because it was easy to make, it's colorful, and it looked put together. And here's a final flip through for this month's setup. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.